Yesterday, after 10 years of dreaming, 3 years of saving, and almost a full year for searching for the perfect horse, I finally bought Tsarina. Today, after 6.5 hours squirming behind my desk, I didn't hesitate when Mike said, "Nathan, get out of here. Enjoy your ride." I clocked out and burned rubber getting from the light district to the edge of the foothills and down the dusty driveway to the farm where I boarded Tsarina. And here we were, Tsarina plodding lazily down a shady trail while I watched a few flecks of sunlight playing on her black mane and dappled black and bronze coat. My saddle creaked softly in time with the hoofbeats on the dirt, the sound almost hypnotic. The ranch had faded behind us, and now it was just her and me out here in the woods. Finally. This was all I had planned for the summer. Classes were out, and Tsarina and I were going to spend the summer getting to know each other on the trails. Come winter, we'd start working with a trainer and set our sights on competition, because a big, smooth-moving trainer like Tsarina belonged out on the dressage circuit. For the time being, though, I'd take it easy with her and enjoy the fact that I finally had a horse again. Now that she was sufficiently warmed up from the gentle walk and a few short trots, I decided to pick up the pace. I tapped her with my foot and clicked my tongue, and Tsarina immediately flowed from a walk into a perfectly smooth rocking horse canter. I couldn't help grinning. From my limited experience with her, I was convinced this mare was physically incapable of a choppy gait. Grinning even bigger, I wondered what she'd be like when she had free rein to drop the hammer and go. How fast, how smooth. How did she run when she wasn't fenced in? I couldn't resist. As the incline steepened on a straightaway, I stood in the stirrups, leaned over her neck, and urged her on with my knees. She didn't hesitate, launching into a full gallop like she'd been shot from a cannon. Her mane whipped at my face. I squinted against the wind. God, but she was smooth. Like one of those horses you can ride while holding a glass of champagne and not spill a drop. Perfect. The trail got steeper, and she ran harder to make it up the slope. I heard the engine a split second too late. A blue and white motorcycle shot out from the right. Tsarina shied. The biker skidded sideways, like we'd startled him as much as he'd startled us. Dirt sprayed in the air. My horse tried to spin one way, then she whipped back the other way. I'd almost recovered from my own startle enough to keep my balance, but then she jerked sideways again, and I knew that panicked, weightless sensation all too well, that moment when, oh shit, becomes, I'm falling. Worse. I'm falling became, we're falling. Me and all 16 plus hands of her. I had just enough presence of mind to pull my foot out of the stirrup before we hit the ground, but I landed hard enough to knock the wind out of me. Tsarina landed on my leg. Nothing hurt, but that wouldn't last. Not with that crunch that hadn't yet registered in my... Oh, God, there it is. I tried to curse, but still couldn't breathe. Tsarina scrambled to her feet. I reached for the dangling reins, but closed my fingers around nothing. Then an eye-watering wave of pain in my leg sent me right back to the ground. Over the idling motorcycle engine, hoofbeats. I forced myself up onto my elbows. My heart jumped into my throat as Tsarina ran like hell the way we'd come, leaf-filtered sunlight flickering across her glossy hide. I tried to call her name. Still couldn't get the air moving. Panic. My lungs. My horse. My leg. Couldn't walk. Couldn't breathe. Couldn't see or hear Tsarina. I coughed, forcing some air to move. Footsteps hurried toward me, reminding me I wasn't alone. Pain and panic retreated to make room for fury. Son of a bitch, reckless motorcyclist! A hand pressed down on my shoulder. Hey, you all right?